Today we're back inside of Call of Dragons, and with me I have Mr. Sneaky, and we're going to be talking to you guys about 5 tips that you can take into your next season inside of Call of Dragons. As the seasons end, you have to prepare yourself for what is next, and we have Mr. Sneaky, someone who has done this before, here with us to go through all of the tips. But to start us out, we're going to briefly go through everything that resets and changes from Season 1 to Season 2. I want to remind all of you that Mr. Sneaky has his own YouTube channel that he shares regular videos for Call of Dragons as well, and we are both sponsored creators of Call of Dragons. Check out his channel in the description of this video if you enjoy this one. Mr. Sneaky, thanks for coming to the channel and take us through what's changing. What do we have to look forward to when Season 2 comes around?
Yeah, so whenever it's your first ever season reset, you can always go to the season overview screen to see what we are looking at right now. But the main things we need to always briefly go over is that hero level page. It always states here that your heroes are going to reset from whatever levels they are currently to level 1. But here it also states, however, the hero star rating and your skill levels will not reset. So all that investment you've already placed in the heroes currently, you're all going to keep. The same thing applies for your artifacts. This is the same level 1 all the way on the reset, but the star rating and the skill investment for those artifacts all stay the same. So a lot of people always worry about season reset. You know, am I going to lose everything? But we're here to obviously give those peace of mind to those players. In additional parts, obviously any sort of XP or CP item that would have obviously leveled up the heroes is gone as well. But with the tips later on, we're going to bypass the CP. And then with the artifacts as well, the dust that levels it up similar to the XP will also disappear. The final stages in the season reset is your policies and Dragon Trial and Prestige. This is all the campaign system that all works together. And obviously, the higher Dragon Trials you get, the more prestige you earn. And obviously, the prestige you've earned, you'd have spent in your policies. But everyone's going to be reset. So everyone's going to be back at level 1 and 0 on their trees. So you're going to all have to work from square one as a fair playing field in the next season. To finish, the last little bit on the reset is your merits and elixir. This is just to do with combat. So again, any of those last minute merits that you could have spent in your alliance shop, should spend them. Otherwise, they're going to be going to waste. And that is pretty much the main summary reset. The main one at the end is for all those officers and maybe yourself, Echo, is your big boy alliances that are 200 members deep right now. You are going to have to spread out again into maybe smaller alliances at the start at the size of level 40 member limit, but the alliance leader can keep the names, which is a really cool feature. So you don't have to worry about someone stealing your alliance name. So that is the season reset overview and everything you're going to need to know generally in a season reset. Nice and briefly, quickly covered for you guys.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. And remember, the reason for the season reset is to kind of start every new season on more of an even playing field. So people that are spending thousands inside of the game are a little bit more on an even playing field to players that are spending less money inside of the game. And it's just a little bit more balanced. And as you mentioned, a lot of your investment is still there in different ways. You don't just lose everything. I think you did a nice job breaking that down. And as you said, everyone can check this out on the season page at the Augur Stone in your own village. But as we mentioned, we have 5, or I should say you're sharing with us 5 tips today that you have for players going into the next season. So I'm looking at our notes right now, and your first tip is to scout other rewards at reset. Take us through your first tip and why this is important for us.
Yeah, so one thing that a lot of players might have realized is when you go to that map progress, once you've demissed everything, you can see obviously these percentages. And the cool thing is once you've completed an area, a lot of players will know and you get these little rewards. The cool thing with a season reset is you won't have to obviously go around and defog all the mist again. It's already going to be gone from the first season. But the cool thing about it is, as you can notice here, all your observatories, wonders, villages, and locations you've already earned days. So if you haven't got these rewards, make sure you get these rewards first because you are not going to be able to reclaim these afterwards. But The cool thing is the other tab. The other tab allows you to get a bunch of rewards every single season. And the cool thing about the other tab is these rewards do scale. Meaning, again, if you look for something that has a choose one, like an adventure camp, for example, this would allow you to get either tier 3 or even tier 4 units. So it's a really cool way for a player to always prepare and always get a maximum out, because again, if you don't get all of these done in your first season, you're just missing out on free rewards that you can get again all next season. So these obviously range from resources, and obviously in the water you can get the speed up. So nice little bit of tip for you guys to always consider doing your scouting when it comes to the preparations
No,
phase.
that's a great first one. And to be honest with you, I don't love doing that. Like, I don't love going around and finding all that stuff, but because it's tedious, right? But
Yeah, exactly.
it does give good rewards, and it's definitely worth your time. All right, moving on to your second tip. You're talking about CP hacks right now, market resets and monthly packs. Take us through your plan there, your strategy that you have.
Yeah, so as you guys know, in the overview, we talked about how your CP resets. So obviously, right now, if you've got a bunch of CP, you should be obviously spending it and trying to level up those heroes. Because once it's reset time, it's all going to be scrapped. But there is a way that you can get a bunch of CP at the very start of the very first day. So when you're in your season reset phase or your season summary phase, you have that little countdown timer. This will eventually go down to a 7-hour timer. And when it does, obviously your main server here will reset, because obviously it will hit around 0000 UTC, as you can imagine. Obviously, when it hits that day, you would be able to obviously buy your daily store, which is what everyone would do on a Monday. Obviously, you know yourself, you probably buy this without even thinking right now. But what you can do is not buy it. And if you don't buy it, when you go into that season reset, this will be available to you. So that is giving you already 1.5k CP to immediately use on those level 1 heroes when it goes into the season reset. And for the spenders, this also applies to the monthly packs. So if you can try and just hold off just before that season reset, don't claim it. And then as soon as you go into that new zone, you can then claim these rewards, and you're going to get the benefit of that extra 300 CP, meaning in total, you're going to get a full 1800 CP, which is the full bar for max tech research. So a really good way of giving you guys a really good push and head start, because obviously higher level heroes, you're going to push that Dragon Trials and get even further quicker.
Yeah, I mean, that's seriously looking to get every little drop of CP that you can. I like the idea. I never thought of that personally myself, but just holding off a little bit longer will get you that extra amount so you can just get that jump start. So honestly, super easy to do, but a great way to give yourself a little bit of advantage at the start. That brings us to our third tip, and this is your spender's trick. How are you going to be working with pop-up bundles? What are going to be the ones that you really focus on, or what's your best key spending choices here?
Yeah, so a lot of people right now are wondering, should we spend keys and should we not? So if you're a free-to-play player, honestly, you can now easily spend those keys because you're not going to get any real benefit out of it. However, if you are a spender, this is the complete opposite, because as you know, you're going to be getting pop-up bundles. And a really powerful one that you're going to be able to get in the early game is actually the artifact one. So if you've saved a bunch of artifact keys and you start popping these draw 10s and unlock any new legendary or even epic, pop-up bundles will appear. So by getting these pop-up bundles, you're going to be able to gain a large amount of dust, as well as keys, as well as speed ups as well within that bundle. It's a really cool bundle to get a very quick head start. And by getting that dust, again, it's going to give you the ability to level up these artifacts really fast within the first week of playing.
Wow, that's another great tip, because when you're a spender, when you unlock something new or a certain level of something, a pop-up bundle that's a fantastic deal will present itself to you. So saving those keys so you can have better odds of getting something new, you're going to be able to get more bundles, spend a little bit more, but get those great deals. Another great tip. Again, another one that hadn't crossed my mind, so thank you for that. But let's talk about Eliana, a barbarian battling hero inside of the game. What should we do with Eliana? Like, are we going to have the ability to upgrade her in the next season? What do things look like in season 2 for her?
Yeah, so one really cool thing, and this is a really good tip for those free-to-play players and low spenders, because Eliana, as you know, is a very effective hero. If we go and just check her out right now, you're going to be able to use her effectively with any troop type. So if you're missing that maybe key role, if that's a frontline tank or maybe a cavalry primary, even a mage support of some sort, you can rock Eliana as the primary role or deputy role for that. And the beauty of this tip is right now, if you're in the cooldown phase and you're waiting to push and get into the next season, right now is honestly a perfect time to get her expertise. Getting her expertise is going to give you, no matter what, that go-to hero that you can depend on no matter what. And as you know, yourself, Echo, you could run an Eliana and later on a Garwood, maybe for merit farming when that stage unlocks in the August Zone. And obviously, farming merits and getting those extra goodies later down the line is always advantageous. So work on Eliana, and if you've already got her expertise, don't worry, you can save those puppets and pop them again in the new season just to help out those members who might have not finished it in the early phase.
That's great because Eliana super easy, especially when you have an active alliance to kind of get her max level for absolutely free, and then you have someone, a hero that you can rely on from the start when you're going after the Darklings and really get those extra rewards along the way. Thank you for that one as well. But it brings us to our final tip, and that's about speed ups and resources now. Should I be spending? I'm talking about both my speed ups and tokens that I have all saved and the speed ups and the resources that I have in my city itself. Should I be saving that for season 2, spending it now? What is the most effective way to utilize these types of things as we're moving forward?
Yeah, so right now it depends on obviously the kingdom you're in. I personally believe most players should always be saving their resources and speed ups right now, because if you go absolutely balmy right now and obviously maybe increase your power, even if it's 1-2 million, and maybe if you've got 100 players doing that, effectively your kingdom's just gained 100-200 million power, meaning the matchmaking progress might not go in your favor, which is obviously a very advanced thought when it comes to obviously matchmaking in the future. So what you could be doing right now, honestly, is picking some really high resource zones. So a really cool feature in the game is the resource tab, and by hitting this little feature, you're going to be able to see all the high resource zones. So obviously, in zone 3, this is highly resource friendly, but it's super, super competitive. But if you have built obviously from a zone 1 or zone 2, depending on what resource you're looking for, you can go to a certain wonder and get that resource. So right now I am in dire need of mana, and as you can see here, and this is a zone 1 area in our season we're currently in, we're getting a level 8 mana tiles and level 7s compared to the level 4 and 5 stones that's around the area. So always try and go to an area right now, farm as much as you can, get those speed ups stocked up as much as you can, because when you go into that new season, you have to think there's going to be a bunch of new events that you could be powering up in, which is going to be a double benefit because obviously you're powering up and you're getting the new season events completed. So that's my final tip I think you guys should be doing when it comes to all the season prep for any season in the future.
That's a great one as well. We just finished an event inside of the game where we got rewarded with our castle skin by gaining 1.5 million power. But that ended yesterday or the day before, so we had 10 days until the new season. So it's a pretty good idea, I guess, to stop upgrading everything. I like the idea of the matchmaking that you spoke of there, and just save it so that we can blast season 2, prepare for any events that we have, and just have the resources and speed ups that we could possibly need for that time. So in this video, you took everyone through the basics of what's going to be resetting in the start, and then through the 5 tips that you have as someone that's experienced moving from one season to the next. I thank you so much for your time. Why don't you take a second, let everyone know what you do over on the Mr. Sneaky channel every single day before we head out of here.
Yeah, man. So on the Mr. Sneaky channel, we cover everything Call of Dragons. We also live stream 3 days a week. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we also try and do anything in between that is Call of Dragons related. So if you're looking for hero guides, behemoth guides, first impressions, and obviously adaptive information that we learn from the brand new season that stars Reignited that you guys will eventually play in the global release, then check me out. And we're going to be covering it. So it's almost a first glimpse into a new season.
Well, I'll be linking your channel down below. If you guys enjoyed having Mr. Sneaky with us today, go check it out. And if you like his content, drop him a sub as well. Appreciate you guys sticking around to the end of the video, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow.